So we're going to start simplifying rational expressions. A rational expression is a fraction with polynomials as the numerator and the denominator. So a rational expression is a fraction with polynomials as the numerator and the denominator. Now, rational expressions have what are called excluded values. Excluded values are values that cause the denominator to equal 0, thus causing the expression to be undefined. So excluded values are those values that cause the denominator to equal 0, thus causing the expression to be undefined. This word here is the thus. Thus causing the expression to be undefined. Remember, we can't divide by a 0. That's something that's undefined. So we're going to spend today finding what our excluded values are. Our excluded values. So if we have the expression 3b minus 2 over b plus 7, we need to find the excluded values, meaning we need to find what causes the denominator to equal 0. So we take our denominator, b plus 7, and say b plus 7 is equal to 0. And we need to solve for b. So we subtract 7. And so the excluded value, or we'll call them EV, is when b equals 0. Or not, b doesn't equal 0, or b doesn't equal b. b equals -7. I apologize. So the excluded value is when b equals -7. Now, looking at this next example, -8 over r squared minus 36. Well, we need to find what happens when the denominator is equal to 0. So r squared minus 36. When that equals 0. Now, we're going to be using factoring to solve these. Factoring. So, r squared minus 36 we see as a difference of squares, which remember from our factoring we go r minus 6, r plus 6 equals 0. So then we can say that r minus 6 equals 0 and r plus 6 equals 0. Then our excluded values are EV are when r is equal to 6 or when r is equal to -6. So those are our excluded values right there. Our EV is when r is equal to 6 and when r is equal to -6. Now, one last example just for some practice. If we have 5a plus 2 over a squared minus a minus 12. 5a plus 2 over a squared minus a minus 12. So our excluded value is when the denominator equals 0. So we say that a squared minus a minus 12 equals 0. And we need a factor. So what multiplies to -12? That adds to -1. Multiplies to -12, adds to -1. Well, in fact, that is when a minus 4 times a plus 3 is equal to 0. So we say that a minus 4 equals 0. We say a plus 3 equals 0. So in this case, our excluded values, we're not done yet, so I shouldn't box it up. Our excluded values are when a equals 4 or a equals -3. Now I can box it up, all right? So for today, we're just finding our excluded values or solving for when our denominator equals 0. For our practice for tomorrow, we have just a couple examples on page 1593, 1 and 2, and 12 through 15. So 1, we have to find the excluded values for 8 over x squared minus 16. So we set x squared minus 16 equal to 0. And again, we're using factoring. So we're going to say that x minus 4 times x plus 4, because we have a difference of squares, If you don't remember your difference of squares, you might want to review section 8888 is where our difference of squares is, 8.8. Now, so we have x minus 4 is equal to 0, x plus 4 is equal to 0. So when we solve, we see that our excluded values are when x equals 4 or negative 4. And we go on through that. Not too much practice because I hope this is pretty straightforward. Good luck.